Folks, here is what they're doing. They are lowering the credit score for mortgage applicants, just like they did in the 2007 crisis, where they basically lent to anybody who did not have the right or the right means to be in a house and in a mortgage. This is a repeat of that financial crisis. Our housing market is going to crash. The entire financial system is going to crash with this. And then they're introducing this 50-year mortgage. Let's just take a quick look at the math on this, okay? The comparison of a 30 to 50-year mortgage, if you were to buy a $400,000 home at 6% interest, at 30 years, your monthly payment would be $2,390. Again, a complete, that's garbage, absolute garbage. $2,300 for a home, absolutely crazy because the housing prices are up so high. Your total cost when you pay off that home in 30 years is almost $900,000, almost $1 million. But if you get a 50-year mortgage and you're locked in for 50 years of your life, your monthly payment will be all the way down to $2,100. So you'll save $200 a month, but your total loan cost, what you'll pay at the end of the loan, is $1,263 on a $400,000 home.
Explain this to me. How is it that after switching to LED lights and solar panels and wind farms and every energy efficient thing under the sun, how is it that our electric bills keep going up? How does that work? Because every billboard that they put up to convince us that it was necessary to change to energy efficient appliances and light bulbs and all this other
So obviously we are in a propaganda campaign, and part of this campaign is to make basically gaslighting you into believing that you're going to get lower prices very soon, and then you never get them. So this is something you're seeing with them telling you that the housing market's going to correct itself, that the grocery bills are going down, that your fuel costs are going to then integrate into lower cost of living. Absolutely not. It's a lie across the board.
Well, those who have read history, okay, they understand that socialism is for morons. I love Seattle. They just elected a new mayor. I don't know her, but I've read a lot about her. She's a typical moonbat. She's a community organizer.
Heavy socialist that people are saying they have vetted her out, and how she runs her entire life is she still gets paid by her mommy and daddy's trust funds or some sort of family endowment. She gets money from old money. And so that's how she gets to live this dystopian socialism life, thinking that maybe you should get that too. But that's just not how this world works. Somebody is going to pay for it.
Speak to us about the many reports that RFK-JU are being undermined from within.
So I came in, he's amazing. He had just around 10 political appointees. So every employee...
Listen to this. This is the real bombshell here, where they're saying that the CIA, their pamphlets on how to deconstruct a government from within are actually being disseminated by left-leaning or certain ideological groups inside of government today. These are the swamp people. These are the deep state people, the people who are committed to corrupt forms of government.
Those are people he was actually able to choose. Jay Bhattacharya at the NIH had one. So every employee in government is these deep staters. They've been there for a long time. And I got an email from one of the good ones, and they're sending around a CIA manual called How to Be a Bad Bureaucrat and Subvert an Institution from Within. Wow. And they said that 90% of employees at HHS, which has 70,000 employees, are working and talking in the lunchroom about this manual and telling each other that their job is to save America and save science from the agenda of President Trump and RFK.
And I think he's absolutely right. They believe that it is their God-given quest to save the world from the United States of America that doesn't want poison in your food, from the United States of America that doesn't want heavy metals given through 80 different shots to children before they're 10 years old. They want to save America for the science, even though the science that they have been propagandized and brainwashed to believe in many cases is completely one-sided, and it is more of correlation than anything else. So there is a message right now: subvert the government, subvert Donald Trump. They want to finally, and I'm afraid for RFK Jr.'s life and his life of freedom. I'm afraid for all Kristi Noem's life of freedom. I believe that as soon as this government changes hands, and without something crazy happening, and you guys tell me in the comments if you think something crazy is going to happen, but without something crazy happening, this will switch back to a left-sided government in the future, probably in the near future. How many times have we had Republican after Republican after Republican presidency and administrations? We haven't. So when it switches back, my fear is that they're coming for you. My concern is that they are coming for Trump. They are coming for RFK Jr. They are coming for Noam. They are coming for everybody who has taken the veil off of their delusion.
We're trying to rebuild that and fix that by bringing down the cost of housing, by actually making it possible to build a life with somebody, making it more affordable to live a good life with the person that you love. But the reason why I think so many people are radicalized is because the Biden administration was such a disaster, and that's why what we're doing is so important. If you look at the history, if you look at communist revolutions in the past, it always comes from young people, and it always comes from young people who have been radicalized. I think the way to de-radicalize people is to actually give them a better opportunity and a better future and a better path forward. It's why I'm so honored to serve the President of the United States.
Interesting take on how the youth is being completely coerced into a movement that is anti-American agenda.
Listen, folks, at this point, you can tell that there is some type of psychotic spirit that has taken over our country. Folks are mad that the president is doing what a president is supposed to do. You can tell that we haven't had real leadership, because when real leadership comes along, folks don't know how to handle it. A president's job is to protect his country from foreign and domestic threats. A president's job is to make sure the country is profitable. The president's job is to make sure its country's citizens can live in peace and prosperity. That's what our president is doing. But because we haven't had leadership in so long, people don't know how to handle this.
There's a lot of truth in that. Now, if that peace that we are being promised turns into just another prison, that's where things get scary.
You know, when they talk about the climate, the whole thing is a hoax. They used to say it was started by other countries to cause problems, and they used to call it global warming, but that didn't work because it started getting colder. They even called it many years ago global cooling, but those things don't work. So now they call it climate change, because with climate change you can't lose.
There you go. You change the name and you can't lose, because if you say, well, those disasters weren't happening before, but they're happening there now, you're right. But the thing that people need to realize is we do live in a cyclical world, and just because we've been keeping records for a couple hundred years doesn't mean that this world wasn't crazy 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 years ago, and this world's going to be crazy again. And that's what being a prepper or a survivalist literally is all about. And we did a quick live show last night where we did viewer call-ins. We're going to start doing these viewer call-in live shows more often. And last night we had a person who does small home repairs call in. It was our 4th call-in ever, all on that show. And he said, listen, when they came to help the people in North Carolina after the hurricane, the people there had to live without any help, without ever seeing a flashing light for 8 days. And so it is through those cycles of earth events that it's the community that has to come together. And without that community, you really have nothing.
The whole thing is a hoax. And your country, among others, but your country is one of the worst. You talk about UK, it's one of the worst in the world. They believe this nonsense, this fiction. As an example, China, very smart. They sell the windmills, almost all of them. Used to be Germany and China, now it's mostly China. And yet, if you go around China, you see almost no wind farms. So
Why is that? So China sells the poison food, but you don't see much of it on the streets of China. You see fresh food, vegetables, fresh meat. They're all mixing it together in the streets. You don't see the wind farms. You don't see any of this. Now, China does use solar panels because solar is probably the closest thing that we have access to right now that can give you some sort of saving grace against a power outage in which you have another disaster. But they don't use any of the other things they sell us. They make it. The government here coerces themselves with China, works in coordination with China. The politicians make billions of dollars, not just millions. They make billions of dollars, and they sell it all to the people. These are the men and women of immigration enforcement rolling through North Carolina in some of the first footage of the Border Patrol vehicles rolling through the area. This is a convoy in action. It's got music playing there, so I can't play it in the background, but what they do is they're going to run in these official vehicles first, and then the ones that come next are the vans with no markings. Folks, you're watching Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube. Thank you for taking the time out of your early day to watch this with us. Make sure you check back at 2 p.m. this afternoon for more breaking news, more headlines from America and around the world. From my family to yours, please stay safe.